What's up, you friggin' geniuses? So, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to use the addition property of equality for fractions. Okay. So I have an example written right here already. X minus 1/3 is equal to 7/3. Okay, so where would you start solving this problem? Well, remember, the point of these problems is to isolate the variable. Okay, so we want to get x by itself on one side of this equal sign right here. So that means I need to get rid of this minus 1/3 somehow. So in order to do the minus 1/3, I'm just going to add 1/3. Okay, but remember, whenever you do something to one side of the equation, we also have to do it to the other side of the equation. So if we're going to add 1/3 over here, we also have to add 1/3 over here. Now, this minus 1/3 plus 1/3 just goes to 0. Okay, so on this side of the equation, all we're going to be left with is just x. Okay, and we're going to set that equal to 7/3 plus 1/3. Okay, 7/3 plus 1/3. So what is 7/3 plus 1/3? Well, whenever you add fractions together, they have to have the same denominator, which in this case they both do. It's 3. Okay, so we're going to keep that same denominator, 3. Okay, so all you're really adding are the numerators. So 7 plus 1 is 8. Okay, so 7/3 plus 1/3 is 8/3. And then let's bring down this part also. So x is equal to 8/3. Okay, and that would be your answer. Let's try another one. Okay, so here we have p minus 3/5 is equal to 2/3. So again, the point is to isolate the variable by itself on one side of the equation. So since we have this minus 3/5 here, in order to undo that, I'm going to add 3/5. Okay, but again, whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Okay, so I'm going to add 3/5 over here also. Okay, so minus 3/5 plus 3/5, that just goes to 0. So then all we're going to be left with on this side is p. Okay, so p is equal to, right, equal to 2/3 plus 3/5. 2/3 plus 3/5. Okay, now we just have to simplify this addition right here, this fraction addition. So in order to add fractions together, they have to have the same denominator, which in this case they don't, right? So how can we make them have the same denominator? Well, a quick way of doing that is just cross multiplying their denominators. So I'm going to multiply this denominator with that fraction over there. And I'm going to multiply this denominator with that fraction over there. So since I have a 3 here, I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 3. And then since I have a 5 here, I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 5. Okay, so I know this looks ugly, but all we have to do is simplify this. So let's start on the left side right here. So on top, we have 5 times 2, right? That's equal to 10. And then that's going to go over 5 times 3, which is 15. Okay, now we can simplify this right side. So here we have 3 times 3, which is 9. And then on the bottom, we have 5 times 3, which is 15. Okay, and remember, we're adding here, right? We're adding. And also, let's bring down this other part of our equation. This p is equal to. P is equal to. Okay, so now, as you can see, we have the same denominator on both sides, right? We have a 15 here and a 15 here. So that means we can add these now. Okay, so whenever you're adding fractions and they have the same denominator, you're just going to keep the same denominator, okay? So you're just going to add the numerators. So what's 10 plus 9? 19. Okay, so p is equal to 19/15. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, so here we have r minus negative 3/5 is equal to 1/5. Okay, so again, the point is to isolate our variable. But before we do that, I'm going to simplify this left side of the equation. Okay, so whenever you're subtracting a negative, that's the same thing as just addition. Okay, so this is really just r plus 3/5. Okay, and again, that's equal to, right, equal to 1/5. Okay, so again, we're trying to isolate r, right? So we need to get rid of this plus 3/5. So in order to undo that, we're going to subtract 3/5. And remember, we have to do it on both sides. So I'm going to subtract 3/5 from this side also. Okay, so now I can start simplifying some things. So this plus 3/5 minus 3/5, that just goes to 0. So all we're going to be left with is just r. Okay, so r. Then that's equal to, right, equal to 1/5 minus 3/5. 1/5 minus 3/5. Okay, so what is 1/5 minus 3/5? Well, in order to subtract fractions, we have to have the same denominator, which in this case we do. Okay, so we're just going to keep the same denominator. So then we just have to subtract the top numbers, the numerators. So what's 1 minus 3? That's -2. Okay, so r is equal to -2/5. Okay guys, so that's how you can apply the addition property of equality to fractions. I hope the video was helpful. If it was, definitely leave a thumbs up down below. It's always appreciated. And if you still have any questions or want to see any other examples, let me know in the comments section below and I'll do my best to try and help you out. Also, there's a playlist attached at the end of the video, so if there's any other topics you need help with, definitely check those out, and I'll see you there.